Okay, Pythagoras' theorem. Just a quick reminder, which I don't need you to write down. Pythagoras' theorem is for right-angled triangles only. The two short sides which touch the 90-degree angle are A and B. It doesn't matter which is which. The long side, the hypotenuse, opposite the right angle is C. The long side is always C. What Pythagoras' theorem says is that if we drew a square on each of the sides, so that's C times C, which is C squared, that's A squared, and that's B squared. Pythagoras' theorem says that the area of the large square, C squared, equals the area of the two smaller ones added up. That is, C squared equals A squared plus B squared. And we can use Pythagoras' theorem to find lengths of right-angled triangles. Again, I don't need you to write that, just a reminder. So, here is Pythagoras' theorem. You can always use it like this. You can rearrange it first. For example, in this right-angled triangle, we're finding the hypotenuse. When we're finding the hypotenuse, we use Pythagoras' theorem exactly as it is. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Substitute in the values that we know. So C squared equals 4 squared plus 10 squared. Evaluate these. C squared equals 16 plus 100. So C squared equals 116. Once we've got to C squared, because that's the area of the square there, I've got to find the square root of both sides. So C equals the square root of 116. Grab your calculator. Square root of 116. Sorry, different calculator. C is 10.7 and we're in centimeters, and you're just finding that length, and this was in fact x, so I'd say x by the end there. If you're using Pythagoras' theorem to find a shorter side, you can write it exactly like that and rearrange, or you can use the short side formula, which is A squared equals C squared minus B squared. So this formula works for finding the shorter sides. This formula always works for anything. Anytime you're problem solving with Pythagoras and you're not sure, go back to this one. So again, we write the formula. A squared equals C squared minus B squared. We substitute our values. A is currently y, so we'll say y squared. C is always the hypotenuse, so that's 11 squared. Minus the shorter side that we know, 4.7 squared. Now, if you don't want to show all this working, you can just work out 11 squared minus 4.7 squared at that point. 11 squared minus 4.7 squared. So y squared equals 98.91. And then, of course, that's y squared. We've got to find y. Square root of 98.91. Y equals 9.95, and we're in meters. So the two versions of the formula are what you'll need. Remember to find what C squared or A squared is, and then once you've got that, find the square root just to get the unknown side on its own.